Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years. We're dedicated to delivering quality auto parts, expert customer service, fast and free shipping, all backed by our 100% satisfaction guarantee. So visit us at 1AAuto.com, your trusted source for quality auto parts.
In this video, we're going to be working with our 2006 Chrysler 300. We're going to show you how to remove and replace the back cover on your steering wheel in case it has become cracked or broken, or you need to work on the wiring harness for your vehicle's horn switch or any of the steering wheel mounted controls. If you like this video, please click subscribe. We have a ton more information on this and many other vehicles. And if you ever need parts for your car, you can follow the link down in the description over to 1AAuto.com. Here are the items you'll need for this repair. Lift up the cargo cover or the rear carpet here. You'll find our battery underneath. Using a 10mm socket and ratchet, we'll disconnect the ground for our battery first. Lift up and hang it out of the way where it won't get damaged. Be sure that your steering wheel is telescoped all the way out and facing forward before working on any part of the column. Using a 10mm socket and ratchet, remove the 10mm screws located on the back of the steering wheel, one on either side. These are usually captured screws, which means once they're backed out all the way, they don't actually come out of the steering wheel. These, however, do. You may have to move it just a little bit to get the screw on this side. That's all right, just make sure it's centered when you remove it. Carefully pull the airbag and steering wheel cover toward you. Be sure to disconnect all your connections from the back of the airbag, not the steering wheel side. Yellow marked connectors mean that they are part of the airbag system, so be extra careful with those and make sure you touch some metal surfaces a few times before working on them, as a static shock could set this bag off. Then we have our horn connection at the top. Remove this retainer from the threads, and just so you can see what I did, this tab right here is what secures the horn connector, so I just put my thumbnail under there and just lifted that up a little to slide it off. Now make sure you place this bag face down under something solid like a workbench, or at least far away from you while you're working, and somewhere dry. And again, just so you can see what I was doing, when removing the airbag connections, there's these two little tabs, one on each side at the 3 and 9 o'clock positions. You just kind of pinch those together and pull back. Don't worry about remembering where these go because they are color-coded. With the steering wheel nice and straight, use the 10mm socket, ratchet, and extension to remove the 10mm Allen screw holding the wheel onto the column. These are usually on there with a good bit of force, so be ready to put some torque on it. If you're really having a hard time with the steering wheel, you can put the seatbelt through the bottom and lock it into its buckle for a little more leverage. Remove the seatbelt. Recenter the wheel and remove the 10mm Allen bolt. Disconnect the white electrical connector at the bottom so you can sneak the steering wheel over this harness and just kind of whack the back of the wheel with your wrists until it comes loose, and remove it from the vehicle. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove the 4 screws securing the back cover onto the steering wheel. So some reasons you might remove the back cover are because this little chunk of wiring harness for your horn goes through here, and this may have chafed or broken and you need to replace or repair it. Or on vehicles with steering wheel mounted controls, which ours doesn't have. However, it would run through the wiring, would run through this back cover and connect to those switches. You may also have to remove this in order to access those switches. So once your 4 screws are out, simply lift the back cover off of the wheel. And if you're replacing your harness, which is in there, all you got to do is pop that tab out and then slide it off this little retainer here. And you can either repair it or simply slide the new one back in on the bottom, wrap it around, click it back into its retainer, and reinstall it onto the wheel. Make sure that the top comes over this top corner just like it did originally, and reinstall your 4 Phillips head screws. Make sure that your wheels and tires are pointing straight ahead. Carefully reinstall the connectors through the steering wheel. Show you which opening that is in just a second. You want to make sure that you do not allow your clock spring to rotate during this process, because letting it move too far one way or the other could cause it to fail when steering. You can see which opening I put those connectors through. Make sure that this arrow on your clock spring is facing 12 o'clock, as well as the one on your steering wheel. Install your steering wheel back onto the splines. Reinstall your 10mm Allen bolt in the center of your wheel. Get that down as tight as you can by hand to make sure your steering wheel doesn't move. Actually, we can snug that up with the 10mm Allen socket, wrench, and extension. You may choose to help hold your steering wheel with the same seatbelt trick we use to remove it, and torque the center bolt to 52 foot-pounds. Remove the seatbelt from the wheel. Reconnect the white electrical connector at the bottom rear of the inner steering wheel cover. Touch some metal components of the vehicle to make sure that there is no static charge on your body. And reconnect your airbag connectors. Snap that retainer back over the stud. And reconnect the horn. Lay your airbag back into the wheel and reinstall the 2 10mm bolts with your 10mm socket and ratchet. Turn your key to the on position and reconnect your battery. What this does is ensures that there's power going to the airbag when you connect the battery back here where you're safe, as opposed to connecting your battery, going into the vehicle and sitting in front of the SRS system you just worked on, engaging the key and risking being hit by a malfunctioning airbag or clock spring component.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.